I didn't realize my daughter had already made decisions about my life until strangers started calling me by her version of my story. She said she was protecting me. I was still paying my own bills. If something like this has happened to you, tell your story in the comments. Emily spread the house papers across the dining table as if she'd done it 100 times before. Deeds, insurance statements, a tax notice folded the wrong way. She spoke while lining up the pages, voice steady, eyes on the paperwork. "I just want to make sure everything's protected," she said. The phone on the counter lit up. She answered without looking at me. "Yes," Emily said. "He forgets things, important things. It's been getting worse." A pause. A nod, even though no one could see it. "No, I don't think he understands what he's signing anymore." The words landed clean. No hesitation. No apology. I asked who she was talking to. She covered the receiver with her hand. "It's nothing. Just someone helping me sort things out." The call continued anyway. "He insists he's fine," she said. "But that's part of the problem, right?" A fork rested beside my plate. I picked it up, set it back down, asked again who was on the line. "A social worker," Emily replied, "and a legal consultant. They work together." She went back to the call. "Yes, the house is fully paid off. That's why timing matters." I waited until she hung up. "You told them I'm not competent?" I said. Emily didn't flinch. She gathered the papers into a stack and tapped them straight. "I said you've been having trouble keeping track of things. When you missed a utilities payment last year, it was a billing error. And you forgot your doctor's appointment in March. I rescheduled it." She let out a breath and leaned back in the chair. "Dad, this isn't about blame. It's about avoiding legal risk." "Whose risk? Ours," she said. "The family's." I asked what she meant by that. She slid one document toward me. A form with blank spaces and a title I didn't recognize. "Temporary guardianship," she said. "It's standard, preventive." "For what, in case something happens?" "To me." Emily folded her arms. "You're taking this personally." I pointed at the form. "This gives you authority over my property. Only if it's approved," she said. "And only until things are clearer." Clearer for who she stood, and started clearing the table moving plates, stacking them at the sink. "You know I've been under pressure," she said. "Rent's gone up. Work's unstable. I can't keep fixing emergencies. I didn't ask you to. That's not the point." The phone buzzed again. Emily glanced at the screen and declined the call. "They want to schedule an evaluation," she said. "Just to check where you're at." I didn't agree to that. It doesn't require your approval at this stage. I asked when she contacted them. "A few weeks ago?" How many weeks? Emily didn't answer. She picked up the papers again and slid them into a folder marked with my last name. "So you decided I couldn't handle my life," I said. She closed the folder. "I decided we couldn't afford not to act." A knock came at the door. Emily looked surprised, then checked her phone. "That might be them," she said. "They said they were in the area. Work didn't stop just because my name had started circulating elsewhere. The building needed routine checks. A compressor had been acting up, and a tenant complained about water pressure on the 4th floor. Hands stayed busy while phones kept vibrating. Mid-morning, the bank number showed up. "This is just a verification call," the woman said, after confirming my date of birth. "We need to review recent activity. What activity? A request related to asset oversight." The phrase didn't fit the account. Neither did the pause that followed. "Your access hasn't been removed," she added, slower than necessary. "We just need additional confirmation going forward. Confirmation from who. There's a secondary contact listed now." A name followed. Emily's. Lunch never happened. A message from Human Resources replaced it, asking whether everything was all right, and whether flexibility might be needed in the coming weeks. The wording stayed polite, careful. No one said what they were really asking. In the hallway, a supervisor stopped me near the service elevator. "Your daughter called," he said. "Just checking if you were okay." "What did she say?" "Nothing specific, just concerned." The look that followed lingered a second longer than usual, like he was waiting for a sign. None came. By mid-afternoon, a certified letter arrived at the front desk. My name typed clean across the envelope. The clerk asked if someone could sign on my behalf since I was available. Available, not present. The letter scheduled an evaluation. Date, time, location already decided. No signature from me. Aunt Carol called that evening. "Your father would have hated this," she said. "Dragging things through offices and strangers. So you think I should let it go? I think families work things out privately. What if paperwork's already moving?" She sighed. "Then maybe it's better not to stir it." The next call came from a cousin who used to show up for holidays and little else. "Emily's been stressed," he said. "You know how kids are now. I didn't know kids could file court documents." A laugh followed, short and uneasy. "Just saying. No one wants trouble." Dinner stayed untouched. The phone rang again. This time the number belonged to a small notary office I'd worked with years ago. Daniel Ruiz answered when I walked in the next morning. He glanced at the folder under my arm and then at me. "Sit," he said. "This won't take long." Papers spread across his desk, some familiar, others new. He tapped one page with a pen. "This was filed last week. I didn't authorize anything." "Authorization isn't required to submit," Daniel replied. "Only to finalize." He slid another document forward. "This part is odd," he said. "Medical notes referenced, but no provider listed. That's not my doctor. That's what caught my attention." Daniel leaned back. "Everything here follows procedure," he continued. "Wrong part is the timing. And the assumptions. What assumptions? That you're unable to manage affairs? That you're unaware?" The printer hummed in the background. "Can this be stopped?" I asked. He shook his head, not passively. Silence stretched until he broke it again. "If you don't respond, the system keeps going. No one checks twice." A copy slid across the desk. Portions were blacked out, but a signature stood clear. Emily's handwriting. Below it, a note referencing cognitive decline dated months earlier. "That never happened," I said. "I know." Daniel didn't offer advice. No reassurance followed. He gathered the originals and placed them back into a drawer. "Think about what you want documented," he said, "not what you want forgiven." Outside, the sidewalk buzzed with lunchtime traffic. Phones rang. People argued about parking. A message came through from the bank, again confirming temporary limits until review. Another from Emily. "Just checking in. Call when you can." The parking garage at the Cook County Courthouse filled faster than expected. I arrived early, mostly out of habit, and pulled into a spot near the stairwell. A reminder buzzed on my phone with the same appointment time already printed on the letter from the court. First procedural meeting. Mandatory appearance. Footsteps echoed nearby. Voices carried through the concrete. Emily's voice cut through first. "No, say it like you're worried, not angry," a man answered lower, practiced. "You're concerned about his safety." "Yes. And his judgment. He used to be so sharp." Another pause. "Don't exaggerate," she added. "Just enough to show a pattern." I stayed where I was. They stood a few cars away, near a column marked with peeling numbers. Emily faced a man in a dark jacket holding a notepad. He nodded, corrected a word, then asked her to start again. She folded her arms, took a breath. "My father forgets conversations," she said. "He misplaces bills. He doesn't remember appointments unless I remind him." "That's good," the man said. "Keep it simple." But he still insists he's fine, she continued. That's what worries me. I pulled my phone from my pocket without thinking. The camera app opened. One tap. Emily shifted her weight. He gets defensive when I bring it up. He thinks I'm trying to control him. The man glanced at his watch. We'll tighten that part later. Focus on safety. She nodded. I just want to protect him. And the house. The words sounded smooth, rehearsed. Nothing like the person who had missed 3 rent payments in her own apartment last year. Nothing like the daughter who borrowed money and paid it back late without comment. The recording kept running. Remember, the man said, "Don't say you want authority. Say you want oversight." I understand, Emily replied. They moved on to details. Dates that didn't match. Incidents that never happened. A fall in the kitchen. A confused phone call to the electric company. Each one corrected adjusted shaped. Someone laughed nearby. A car alarm chirped and stopped. Neither of them noticed me. A door slammed above us. Emily lowered her voice. What about the medical stuff that's already referenced? The man said. You don't need specifics. Just say a doctor expressed concern. She hesitated. But he hasn't. Then don't name anyone. The phone vibrated again. A new email notification from the court confirmed the schedule. Another line followed noting an expedited review based on submitted concerns. I ended the recording. Emily turned, slightly catching movement. Our eyes met for half a second. She looked away first, then leaned closer to the man. Let's go over it one more time, she said. I walked past them toward the stairs. The hallway outside the courtroom buzzed with people holding folders and coffee cups. A clerk called out names. Someone argued softly about a missed filing. My name came up. A woman handed me a packet and pointed to a bench. Have a seat, she said. They'll call you. The packet listed statements attributed to me. Confusion, resistance, emotional volatility. None of it had my signature. A few minutes later, Emily passed by with the man from the garage. Her steps slowed when she saw me. Dad, she said. I didn't know you were already here. Appointment was set, I replied. She glanced at the papers in my hands. This is just preliminary, she said. Nothing's decided. Didn't sound that way earlier. Her smile stiffened. You must have misunderstood. The man cleared his throat. We should head in, he said. Emily nodded, then lowered her voice. Please don't make this harder than it needs to be. I didn't answer. They disappeared through a door marked Authorized Personnel Only. A clerk approached again, this time with a different tone. There's been a request to move things forward, she said. You'll receive notice. From who she checked her list. Counsel for the petitioner. Petitioner? The word stuck. When the meeting ended, nothing had changed on paper. The process continued as scheduled, maybe faster. A new date printed at the bottom of the page before it was handed back. I folded the packet and stepped outside. The air smelled like exhaust and warm concrete. Cars streamed out of the garage one after another. Emily crossed the lot ahead of me, talking on her phone. Yes, she said. It went well. We're on track. The bank lobby looked the same as always, but the teller didn't. She checked the screen twice before speaking. There's a temporary restriction, she said. Nothing major. On what large withdrawals, transfers, anything outside regular expenses. Who requested it? She lowered her voice. The court-appointed contact. That hasn't been approved. It's pending, she said. That's enough to trigger safeguards. A clipboard slid across the counter. A signature line waited at the bottom. I'm not signing that? She nodded as if that answer had been expected. Then you'll need your representative present. My representative is me. She offered a practiced smile. I understand. This is just how it works. Outside, a call came through before the door closed behind me. Dad, Emily said. I heard you went to the bank. Funny how that travels. I asked them to flag things, just until this clears up. You don't have that authority. I do, temporarily, she replied. I'm listed. Listed by who? She didn't answer. Instead, she softened her tone. This is for your protection. A stoplight held traffic. Horns sounded. Emily kept talking. You've been stressed. Anyone would be. I'm just trying to help you stay stable, by freezing my account, by preventing mistakes. I hung up. Daniel met me an hour later. He scanned the notice from the bank and shook his head. They're moving faster now, he said. That usually means someone pushed. Can it be reversed? Eventually, he replied. Not without friction. What kind? He slid another document across the desk. This authorizes limited decision-making. Temporary. But once it's in place, people treat it as permanent. What about the house? Daniel paused. There's a filing here requesting permission to explore sale options. Explore. That word does a lot of work. Emily called while the papers sat between us. Did you talk to your lawyer? She asked when I answered. I spoke with someone. Good. Then you know this doesn't have to get ugly. It already has. She ignored that. I've contacted a real estate consultant. Just to understand the market. You don't own the house. I'm acting on your behalf. Without consent. For safety, she said again. And responsibility. Daniel leaned back, listening. Your responsibility, I said, is not the same as my consent. She exhaled sharply. You're being difficult. I'm being clear. The call ended without goodbye. At home, the mailbox held another envelope. Certified. The return address belonged to the court. A copy of the temporary order confirmed limited oversight, effective immediately. The language stayed clinical. No accusations, no explanations. Keys rattled at the door. Emily stepped in, folder under her arm. I brought copies, she said. So you're not confused. They're already here. She glanced around the room. You should rest more. Maybe avoid handling paperwork for now. Get that folder out of my house. She set it on the table instead. This is happening whether you like it or not. Not legally. She leaned forward. Dad, you don't understand how this looks. How what looks? Resistance, she said. Refusal. It feeds the concern. Whose concern? The courts, the professionals, or yours? Her jaw tightened. I'm tired of carrying this alone. No one asked you to. That's not true, she said. You always leaned on me. Because you offered. And now I'm acting. She opened the folder. Inside sat a preliminary valuation, a checklist, a timeline. This could secure everything, she said. We downsize, simplify. You sell my house. She didn't deny it. Daniel's voice came back in my head, not raised, not urgent. If this keeps going, it's hard to return to the starting point. I stepped past her and picked up the phone. Who are you calling? She asked. Someone who documents, I said. That won't help. It might. She watched without interrupting. The call connected. I gave my name, confirmed an appointment, asked for copies to be sent directly. Emily closed the folder. You're making this worse. I looked at the paperwork on the table, the notices, the signatures that weren't mine. I'm making it visible. Her expression shifted, something sharp, cutting through the calm. You think this is a threat? No, I said. It's a change. The phone buzzed again with a message from the bank confirming new limits, another from the court with a revised date. Emily gathered her things. We'll talk later, she said. Through counsel, I replied. She paused at the door, then left. The waiting room filled before anyone called a name. People sat with folders on their laps, eyes fixed on phones or the floor. A clerk passed through once reminding everyone to silence devices. No one needed the reminder. Emily arrived late and chose a seat across from me. She nodded once the way people do when they want credit for being polite. A man from her legal team sat beside her and spoke in a low voice, pointing at a checklist. My phone buzzed. A message from the court confirmed the hearing date. 2 weeks. Printed beneath it was a warning about consequences if the request for guardianship succeeded. The language stayed neutral. The effect didn't. Emily leaned forward. "You don't have to fight this," she said. "It's not a trial. Then why does it feel like one?" She glanced at the people around us. "This isn't the place." A door opened. Names were called. Someone argued about paperwork. Another person was told to wait again. Emily crossed her legs. "I did what I had to," she said. "You know that. For who? For both of us." A short laugh slipped out before it could be stopped. "You filed documents without telling me. You wouldn't have agreed. You didn't ask." Her jaw set. "I needed to act." The man beside her stood and walked away to take a call. Emily watched him go, then turned back. "You always avoided conflict," she said. "I learned to handle things because you wouldn't. That's not true." "You let things slide," she replied. "Bills, deadlines, decisions." Someone had to step in. A memory surfaced of covering a late payment she never mentioned, of co-signing when she asked without explaining why. None of that made it into the room. A clerk called my name. The conversation ended without a conclusion. The lawyer's office smelled faintly of toner and coffee. Daniel closed the door behind us and set his briefcase down. "They scheduled the hearing quickly," he said. "That tells me they think they have momentum. What happens if I lose control shifts?" he replied. "Not forever, but long enough to matter." A folder opened. Documents slid into view. Notes, timelines, statements attributed to me. Each one painted the same picture: gradual decline, resistance, risk. Daniel looked up. "You've been cooperative?" he said. "That's helped them. I didn't want this to turn ugly. It already has." Silence stretched. He didn't fill it. "What are my options?" "Respond formally," he said, "or challenge the foundation. That means court. That means evidence." I nodded. "You said timing was wrong," I said. "Why, because concern usually follows an incident," Daniel replied. "Here, paperwork came first." He tapped the folder. "You have something that changes the order." The phone sat heavy in my pocket. The recording stayed there too. Untouched. Back in the waiting area, Emily stood near the exit. She looked smaller away from her legal team. "Did you talk to him?" she asked. "I did." She lowered her voice. "This doesn't have to destroy anything. It already changed things." She shook her head. "You're making it about control." "No," I said. "You did." A beat passed. "I need this," she said. "I can't fix everything if you won't let me." "Fix what?" "My life," she replied. "Your house solves a lot." The honesty landed harder than any accusation. "You didn't say that before. You didn't ask." She reached for my arm and stopped herself. "I'm not apologizing," she said. "I'm explaining. That's the problem." A clerk announced a delay. People groaned softly. Emily checked her watch. "I have another meeting," she said. "Think about what you're risking. What am I risking us?" She walked away before an answer came. Daniel caught up near the elevators. "If you're going to submit evidence," he said, "do it clean. No emotion, no commentary." When soon he replied, "Once this starts moving backward, it doesn't stop easily." The courtroom filled in sections. Lawyers first, then clerks, then everyone else. I took a seat beside Daniel and placed the folder on the table between us. Emily sat across the aisle with her attorney hands folded, posture composed. She didn't look my way. The judge entered without ceremony and moved straight to the docket. Names, case numbers, short exchanges. When ours was called, everyone stood, then sat again. Emily's attorney began by restating the request. Concern for safety, patterns of confusion, preventive action. The words sounded the same as before, just better organized. Daniel waited until the judge nodded toward him. Your Honor, he said we're submitting additional evidence relevant to both credibility and intent. Emily's attorney stiffened. We object, he said. This is not the stage for new material. Daniel passed a document forward. The material was obtained legally and directly contradicts statements already submitted. The judge skimmed the page. What is the nature of this evidence? A recording, Daniel said, made prior to filing, in a public area. Emily turned then. Her eyes moved from the folder to my face, searching for something to latch onto. That's improper, her attorney said. This proceeding concerns capacity, not family disputes. The judge leaned back. I'll allow a limited review, she said. Relevance will determine scope. A clerk connected a device. No one spoke while the screen loaded. The video started without warning. Emily's voice carried clearly. No, say it like you're worried, not angry. A murmur ran through the room and died quickly. The man's voice followed, measured. You're concerned about his safety? Yes. And his judgment. He used to be so sharp. Emily's attorney stood. Your Honor? Sit, the judge said, eyes on the screen. The video continued. Lines repeated, adjusted, polished. Incidents described, then reshaped. Don't exaggerate, Emily said. Just enough to show a pattern. The judge raised a hand. The clerk paused the playback. This appears to be preparation, the judge said. Is this accurate? Emily's attorney cleared his throat. Preparation does not equal fabrication. The judge nodded once. Continue. The screen lit up again. What about the medical stuff? Emily asked. That's already referenced, the man replied. You don't need specifics. But he hasn't. Then don't name anyone. The screen went dark. Silence followed. No gasps, no raised voices, just the sound of someone shifting in a chair. The judge looked down at the case file. These statements conflict with submitted declarations, she said, particularly those citing medical concern. Emily's attorney spoke carefully. We maintain the core concern remains valid. Concern requires accuracy, the judge replied. Daniel stood. We're requesting a pause in proceedings pending review of this material. The judge tapped a pen against the desk. I'm ordering a temporary suspension, she said. Further, I'm referring this matter for review regarding possible misrepresentation. Emily's attorney turned sharply. Your Honor, that's premature. So was the filing, the judge said. This court relies on good faith. Emily finally spoke. I was trying to help, she said. That's all. The judge met her gaze. You will speak through counsel. The clerk noted the order. Papers shuffled. A new date was set further out this time. As people stood, conversations stayed muted. No one congratulated anyone. No one argued. In the hallway, Emily's attorney pulled her aside. Words moved quickly between them, too low to hear. She nodded, then shook her head, then folded her arms. Daniel gathered the folder. This changes the posture, he said. Not the outcome. Not yet. Emily approached before we reached the doors. You recorded me, she said. It recorded you, I replied. Her voice dropped. You could have warned me, so you could adjust again. She looked past me, jaw tight. This isn't over, I know. Her attorney stepped between us. All communication should go through counsel, he said. Daniel agreed. From here on. Outside, a court officer handed Emily a notice. She scanned it, then folded it once carefully. What does that mean? She asked her attorney. It means they'll be looking at your filings, he said. closely. She glanced back at me, something unsettled breaking through the control. "I was trying to protect us," she said. The officer cleared his throat. "Ma'am, please move along." Emily followed her attorney toward the exit. Daniel and I went the other way. A clerk stopped us near the elevators. "Expect follow-up," she said. "Someone will contact you." Daniel nodded. The letter from the state's attorney arrived before the coffee finished brewing. It didn't accuse anyone. It didn't explain much, either. It asked for cooperation and listed a time. Daniel read it once, then set it aside. "This is how it shifts," he said. Slowly. On paper. The office downtown felt smaller than the courtroom had. A woman from the prosecutor's team asked routine questions and typed while I answered. Dates, calls, copies of emails, bank notices, a timeline of when documents appeared and who submitted them. "Did you authorize any medical statements?" she asked. "No." "Did you request an evaluation?" "No." She nodded and moved on. A flash drive slid across the table. "This matches what we already have," she said. "We may ask for more. From me, from everyone involved." Outside, Daniel checked his phone. "They've contacted Emily's counsel," he said. "That usually tightens things." At his office, paperwork replaced conversation. Affidavits were drafted, reviewed, revised. Each page stripped the situation down to facts. No adjectives, no explanations. "Respond to what's asked," Daniel said. "Nothing extra." Messages from Emily stopped coming. Instead, her attorney sent short notices requesting extensions clarifications time. A week later, a brief meeting was scheduled at the courthouse. No hearing, no audience, just confirmation of status. Emily arrived with a different posture. The confidence was gone, replaced by caution. Her attorney stayed close, speaking for her whenever possible. The clerk read updates aloud. "The petition for guardianship is suspended pending review." A pause. "Temporary financial access for the petitioner is revoked." Emily's attorney raised a hand. "We object to this is administrative," the clerk said. "Not subject to objection at this time." Emily looked down at her phone, then back up. "What does that mean?" she asked her attorney. "It means accounts are locked," he said. "For you." Her eyes flicked toward me, then away again. No one addressed the recording. No one mentioned betrayal. The system didn't need those words. Outside the room, Daniel handed me a copy of the notice. "This is the part people don't expect," he said. "There's no moment, just a sequence." Another envelope followed 2 days later. Emily was required to submit a detailed explanation of discrepancies. Supporting documents, names, dates. Daniel tapped the page. "They're not asking you anything right now," he said. "That's not accidental." At the bank, the teller greeted me normally this time. "Your access has been restored," she said. "All holds released. Any secondary contacts?" She shook her head. "None listed." At home, the mailbox held nothing addressed to Emily. No updates, no forwarded notices. A voicemail from her attorney arrived that afternoon. "Mr. Harris, for clarity, all communication should continue through counsel. My client will not be contacting you directly." Daniel listened to it once, then deleted it. "That's containment," he said. "They're limiting damage." Another brief appearance followed. A judge reviewed the status and confirmed the suspension. No arguments were allowed. No testimony requested. Emily stood beside her attorney, hands clasped, eyes forward. The judge spoke without emphasis. "The matter remains under review. Any attempt to influence assets or decisions during this period will be considered interference." A warning delivered evenly. Outside, Emily's attorney spoke quickly into his phone. She waited, arms crossed, scanning the hallway, like she was looking for an exit that wasn't there. Daniel and I walked past without stopping. At his office, the final stack of documents sat ready. "This goes on record," he said. After that, it's waiting. For what? For someone else to decide how far this goes. The phone rang, as if on cue. Daniel answered, listened, then nodded. Understood. He hung up and looked at me. They're opening a formal review into the filing process, he said. That puts pressure where it belongs. What happens next? Nothing you control. The answer didn't bother me the way it might have earlier. Back at the house, the door closed behind me, and the day's mail landed on the table. One envelope from the court confirmed the suspension. Another from the bank confirmed access. No messages from Emily. No missed calls. The final appearance lasted less than 20 minutes. No testimony. No speeches. Just a judge reading from a file and confirming what had already been decided elsewhere. The investigation into the filing process would continue. The petition for guardianship was dismissed. Any authority granted to Emily was revoked. Access to my accounts and property was restored without conditions. Emily stood when her name was called. Her attorney spoke for her. The explanation sounded careful and incomplete. The judge listened, then noted that the matter of misrepresentation would proceed separately. There was no response from Emily after that. No denial, no apology. She sat back down and stared ahead. When my name came up, Daniel handled it. All requested documentation has been provided, he said. There are no further filings from our side. The judge nodded. Mr. Harris, she said, looking at me directly, you retain full legal and financial control. This court considers the matter closed. The gavel didn't come down hard. It didn't need to. Outside the courtroom, Emily's attorney moved quickly toward the elevators. Emily followed a few steps behind, eyes fixed on the floor. She didn't look over. Neither did I. Daniel handed me the last packet. This confirms reinstatement across all institutions, he said. Bank's property records, medical directives, anything else pending? He checked his phone. No, at least not for you. A clerk stopped us near the exit. You'll receive copies by mail, she said. Standard process. Daniel thanked her. I didn't say anything. The walk out of the building felt familiar. Same doors, same traffic noise. Nothing about the place suggested it had ever held anything personal. At the office, Daniel closed the file and slid